reminders up front. First and foremost, if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe wherever you are listening, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, where else are we? Google Podcasts, YouTube, all of those. Make sure you are subscribed. Turn on notifications for new episodes. Typically, they are every Thursday. Sometimes I run late and they're a little after. Sometimes I got to get them out early and they're a little before. So make sure you hit that notification bell so that you know when these episodes drop. If you go to chewingtherag.com, you can get all those platform links. Find where you prefer to listen. Merch stores there. All social media. chewingtherag.com. Check that out. And while you are online browsing, go to dubby.gg and use promo code chewing at checkout for clean, jitter-free energy. They have merch. They have like big mouse pads. I'm using one right here. You can't really see it. They got a whole bunch of cool stuff and the flavor of the energy drinks, as well as the hydration drink. They have non-caffeinated drinks as well. All that stuff tastes really good. So dubby.gg and use promo code chewing for 10% off your order. All right, we are back. Holidays are over. I know I took a week off, planned, luckily. Usually you might get an unplanned week off, but I was up front with you guys. Everybody knew. So December 25th, Christmas. December 28th is my birthday, Dude's Evening. If you listen to the episode with Chad Colchin, you know what I'm referring to. If you didn't, go back and listen to that. It's a fun episode. December 28th, my birthday and Dude's Evening. And then you got the 31st and the 1st, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I was like, it's just going to be easier because I don't front load much. I kind of just record earlier that week and then I'm there. Occasionally I'll front load, but it's very rare. It's mostly when I have guests and whatnot. So I was like, it's just going to be easier if I just take the week off, spend time with family, hang out, get the holiday stuff out of the way, and then just come back. We'll be fresh into the new year. If that matters at all, it really doesn't. I'm not somebody who's like, new year, new me. Like, I don't give that. I did just make like some notes for the new year stuff, which we'll get into now. We'll just wrap up the holidays and what I've been up to and what other people have been up to. So a couple of things that stuck out to me were, first and foremost, starting this thing. It came because I had a podcast, Dangerously Average Dudes. A lot of you probably know of it by now. It just didn't work out with me and the co-host. Obviously, just in that aspect. I'm still friends with him, still talk to him. But in that aspect, it just didn't work out. And I was like, well, I still like doing it. And that's how this came to be. So just not relying on the co-host thing and knowing that, like, I could do this on my own and I could get guests and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. We got, close to 40, if not 40 episodes. We had long conversations with people that, A, I've known for a while, but wouldn't have these long conversations with. B, just strangers, just people I've never met before, people I've met on Reddit or on Instagram or through word of mouth, people that I've interviewed. And then they said, hey, this guy would be cool too. And then just like random or, just people with like cool stuff. So that's the first one I want to revisit. The people that like I've known for a decent amount of time. You just don't always get to have hour-plus long conversations with people. And obviously, I wouldn't just do it. Like, I wouldn't just have somebody on here with nothing to talk about. It's people who are involved in something artistic or music-wise, or maybe they're writing something, whatever it might be. And we might talk every day, but like just bullshitting. It's not talking about like what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I talked to Lenny, who was on the podcast. He was one of the first guests. I talk to him every single day. We don't bring up concrete, up his art. He'll text me like something that he's working on, but we don't talk about that. You know what I mean? So to have a conversation with him for over an hour on that stuff is pretty cool. And that's what I think I mostly like about this, is just getting to talk to my friends on a deeper level than just like shitting around and bullshitting, which we do that too on here, but it's sprinkled into the bigger picture, which is getting their stuff out there. And then obviously Dave Totai, Loco, Sierra Nova Comics, a bunch of others that I'm forgetting, Chad Colchin. Like, these are people I would never have conversations with. I would have never even found them or talked to them if I didn't start this thing up. So that was pretty cool. Sponsored some cool people and events. RJ Hayes, who was on here. I did like a merch sponsorship for one of his fights. The fight right after that episode, actually, I just threw him a couple T-shirts. And then the big one is the Extreme Music Awards, which I've talked about ad nauseum. Sponsored that, threw some money to that to help support that event because that's such like a cool thing that they're doing. And then it's just like, what do we want to do in the future? We'll have some familiar faces on. We'll have some new faces on. We'll change this whole mess, as we've been saying. Probably slowly. We're actually going to like start that process more sooner than later, which is pretty cool. And then this whole setup will be different. Probably getting a whole new PC setup. I'm on a really old Mac right now, so it's pretty limited as far as like the stuff that I do. What I've been doing this whole time isn't really how I'm even envisioning doing this thing. So I'm looking forward to 2024. Hopefully you'll see like a leap up in quality, what I'm putting out, and blah, blah, blah. I don't have like resolutions, but I have ideas that will just happen to take place in the new year. Excuse me. So what I did before this episode, or before starting to record this episode rather, was I put something out there for people to tell me something cool that they... How did I preface this? What's something positive that happened to you in 2023? Just, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I got a job. It literally could be the stupidest thing that you were just happy about in the moment. And what's something that you hope to happen or you're looking forward to or something to accomplish in 2024? Those will start trickling in. So I'll just read them out as they come in. This one I got was something small, but in 2023, I got over my fear of driving alone and did it. That's a big deal. You have relying on rides, relying on public transit, having to have somebody in the car with you because, you have a fear of driving. That's a pain. That's a pain in the ass. My brother has, I think, and he's not afraid of driving of other drivers, but like, that's normal. That's why like behind the wheel, I'm always like a super cautious driver anyway. It doesn't look like it, but like my eyes are always like, I'm looking all directions at all times, checking mirrors constantly. So because I have that worry too. I know I'm a fine driver. I'm a driver, but I don't trust these fucking people on the road. So that is a big deal, especially for this person because, they have a kid now and you have to be able to be the reliable transportation in the house. And then they said, in 2024, I'm looking forward to playing outside with my daughter for the first time. Well, not really the first time, but now that she'll be able to walk, it'll be a little bit different. And that's honestly true. I have a son and he just turned 4 and his whole life, you bring him outside, you bring him in the stroller, you bring him on walks, you're carrying him, you're walking the dog, whatever it might be, he's in a wagon. But now, now that he's 4, the outside activities are way different. He can run with the ball. He can kick a ball. He can, I can teach him how to get on a skateboard and go with me and ride the bike and whatnot. So that is actually a pretty cool thing that's a pretty cool thing for him to experience as a dad. So I actually see exactly what he's saying with that because it is different once they can start moving around. I know I just said 4 years old, so I'm talking about like bigger activities, but even just being able to like watch them waddle and hold their hand and do stuff like that, that's a lot different than just pushing in a stroller and whatnot. Some other cool stuff, like I said, these will trickle in, so I'm kind of going to bounce around. It was pretty cool to see Loco and Dave Totek, both guys I mentioned, when they did a wrap up on how their 2023 went. Both of them mentioned that they did this show, which was kind of cool in the sense that, like, to me, it is a big deal that these people come on, but I don't always look at it as a big deal in their eyes, if that makes sense. So, like, to them, I always just kind of think of it as, like, I'm just like a bump in the road kind of thing, and not in like a bad sense, just like we do other podcasts, we do this. So to mention it by name, like, hey, we did this podcast, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I appreciated that. For me personally, I kind of just went about it in the podcast sense when I talked about like what I'm probably going to hope to accomplish and a couple of things that I thought were cool. And like personal life outside of podcasting, I would say like the biggest accomplishment in 2023, well, like I said, it doesn't have to be an accomplishment. it was just cool to see my son, I think, do it was just cool to see like watch his hobbies and his interests flip. You know, he can process like I want to play this video game now. He can process like what toys I want to play with, the skateboarding thing, my favorite Ninja Turtle. Like just watching those things kind of pile up. I think that was probably the coolest thing about 2023 was just like growing with him and watching him. It's a big leap, even if it doesn't seem like it. In regards to from 3 to 4, because I could see like those, it flips so fast. So watching him gradually like turn into a 4-year-old and then like turn 4, like literally turn 4 was pretty cool. Like just look at it summer by summer and like, cause I go by summer because realistically that's when like you can do the most shit. You can go outside and do all this stuff. So I think that was the coolest part of 2023 was just I'm continuing to grow with him, and it'll be next year saying the same thing, just adding different hobbies and different interests. So that's pretty cool. What else? I went back and did comedy for the first time, and since he's been born, did it in front of him. That was pretty cool. Obviously, you guys all know, my mother passed in 2023 too, so that wasn't that great. It wasn't great at all. I can't say that great. There was like really big losses on top of the cool stuff in 2023 too. But there was a lot of good. So I'm chilling. I'm all right. It was that's what I wanted to talk about. So prior to the little 1 week break, I was talking about like picturing my dad shopping for toys and stuff for my son. Now that he's the one to do that, bringing up my mom. Like he was like, because he dropped them off, and he's like, yeah, man, it was kind of cool to like go in the store. I'm looking at she goes, I fucking suck at buying gifts. And I'm like, I get it, dude. Like I didn't really have to do it either. Like, and now I do. And it is a weird thing, like, but kids are pretty easy. Every kid likes cars or some sort of thing. Once you figure out their hobbies, it's just a matter of like, does he already have this? No. Okay, cool. This is what I'm gonna buy. All right, good. But like, it is a weird thing when you go from not having to buy gifts for somebody to shit. Now I'm the reason, and he didn't have to do this, but as like a parent, like me, it's like, oh shit, I have to make sure this kid has fucking Christmas. Like, I didn't have to worry about. Obviously, I bought my wife gifts and everything, but I didn't have to worry about like insuring some. I wasn't Santa before. Now I'm fucking Santa. Is what I'm getting at. So respect me. It's a weird thing. So I level with my dad and understand what we're referring to when he says like I didn't have to buy gifts before. Now here I am, and I'm like, I feel that. I feel that 100%. And it's not wouldn't buy gifts. He would actually, he would ask, but like it would be asking my mom, like, you think Chris would like this? You think Theo would like this? And now it's like there's no middleman. You know what I mean? So he has to come to the source. He didn't have to do that before. So because he wasn't out in the stores, he wasn't in the field. He was just maybe he saw a commercial or an idea popped in his head, and now he's got to be like that field guy. So it's a weird thing, and I get where he's coming from 100%. He got me a cool signed Troy Aikman, mini helmet. I don't have it up here, of course, because why would I? When I'm fucking talking about something, have it on me to show you guys. But it's a cool thing. He got my son some cool things, and he's funny because like me and my wife, what we did was we bought everybody. We just kind of did like gift cards for everybody because it's the easiest thing, and it wasn't even a lot of money. He's like, now I feel weird. Don't give me this. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You got me something. I got you something. Fucking, it is what it is, dude. Another one just trickled in. Like I said, things are just gonna trickle in. So this one's from Jake. He goes, Carlos graduating preschool, and I got myself into. Hold on. So he is proud of Carlos for graduating preschool, and he's proud of himself for getting back into taking care of himself and giving a shit about himself. So good for you, Jake. Proud of you. No, that's a good thing. He's not, he's not a biological dad. He's taking on the role of, a fatherhood type role, even though his father's in his life too. This isn't my business to speak about, but okay, whatever, dude. So the kid he's talking about is not biologically his, but he treats him as he is. So it is important. It's weird too, to be honest. It's a weird thing that me and him are fucking taking care of kids. I've known this dude since the fucking 7th grade, and not the two people you thought would like. I knew it's weird. So me and him knew each other, like we know each other on a deeper level, and knew like, yeah, we'd be great dads. But if you look on the outside looking in at these two fucking psychopaths when they're together, then you'd be like, these two are fucking raising kids. So it is good to see him be proud of that, and he's a part of that. So that is important. And then obviously taking care of yourself is always a good thing. So good on you, pal. He didn't really say anything about what he looks to accomplish in 2024 or hope to happen. I'm going to assume he just hopes that he continues to raise that kid well and continues or doesn't fall out of taking care of himself, because he has a habit of doing that, as do I, as do fucking everybody. Everybody does that. It's not even resolutions or anything, because we would just do that shit in the fucking middle of spring. It's just, it is what it is. That's all I got for those so far. It looks like I'm like not looking up here. I'm not interested. It's just I'm trying to keep up with the shit that's trickling in. What else? Christmas was good. My birthday was my birthday. Worked late on my birthday. Friday off because my birthday was on Thursday. Had a 4-day weekend. Hung out with my wife. She did a little something for your boy. I don't really celebrate, or well, I do celebrate it because she cares and my son cares and everybody else cares. So I do celebrate it. It's just not something I really care about much. It was funny. Somebody today at work was like, "Oh, how old you turn 35?" And they thought they were being funny. And I was like, "No, 31." I'm like, wait, really? I was trying to age you a bunch. I thought you're still in your 20s. Like, I don't know if that's a maturity thing or an appearance thing. Probably both. definitely a maturity thing. I didn't think I looked that young though. Maybe they thought late 20s, which 31 is really not much different than late 20s. So I don't know. I don't know what that was about, but I don't know if it was a jab or a compliment. I'm gonna take it as both. Fuck off. But yeah, didn't really do anything for my birthday. My birthday just came. Wife had a dinner made that was really good, and then we just kind of hung out, me, her, and my son. And then we did on New Year's Eve. We had people come up way before like the ball drop and everything, because we knew I knew I wasn't gonna watch that shit. Like, she passed out before it. My son he's 4. He's gonna be passed out before it, and I just don't care to watch the ball drop by myself. So, but I knew other people might care about it, so it's like, dude, I don't even want you here at fucking midnight. So feel free to take off early. People came up like 2 p.m. We hung out. We did like a Hot Ones thing. We had the whole wings box or the whole hot sauce box things where we did like the challenges or whatnot, whatever. Play video games. Just everybody kind of just fucked off. That's all it was. It was just a hangout, fucking off. My wife called it to celebrate my birthday. I just called it a mix between that and New Year's, and it was a good time. And then literally, as I called it, son passes out before. We put him to bed at his regular time. He doesn't really give a fuck about the ball dropping. Wife comes out from, the whole nighttime routine. She passes out. I'm just chilling. That's all it was. There's no like, I don't have like a big New Year's story because I never really cared about that nonsense. Let's see here. All right. This is why you don't bring up, public fucking forum where anybody can reply, because now these guys are arguing about football, which I don't really care to do that right now. Not on here. Speaking of football, the Detroit Lions fan base does nothing but fucking whine. They're the most bitch fan base. So like, there was a controversial thing where, first of all, right before the 2-minute warning, Tony Pollard breaks off one of his only decent runs of the day, and Hutchinson's bitch ass tries to trip him. He misses, but the ref calls a tripping on Hendershot, who's a Dallas Cowboys tight end, which brings the ball back. It's a penalty. It's a flag. So they're brought back. I think tripping's 10 yards. And then eventually I think Detroit gets the ball back in their hands because of that. If they didn't call that, Dallas picks up a first down. Chances are that game's a wrap right there. Even if it came down to like there's still time on the clock, Aubrey just kicked the fucking field goal, you're not going to miss, you're automatic. Whatever. They didn't call that. Dallas plays soft coverage against Detroit because Detroit got the ball back. And of course, Detroit scores because soft coverage. 1-point game. It's 20-19, I think. And they have a choice to tie it up or 2-point conversion, and they win the game. Like, literally, there wasn't. Hold on. There was about 20 seconds left. The Cowboys have, like I said, Aubrey. They probably would have kicked the field goal anyway and got it. But there was a chance that Detroit won the game if they got this 2-point conversion. Now, if you have somebody playing eligible as a receiver, even though they're not a receiver, you have to check with the ref, eligible as a receiver. They did that. They tried to trick Dallas. They sent 3 people to go talk to the ref. The ref called out. You could hear it live. 70 is eligible as a receiver. 70. 7-0. I fucking heard it live. What are we doing? They hike it. They get the play off. They throw it. 68 catches the ball. 68 was not an eligible lineman to receive the ball. Whatever. He wasn't an eligible receiver as a lineman. They throw the flag. Oh, it's rigged. We said blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. Shut up. It's a flag. You threw it to somebody who was not eligible. Second chance to kick a fucking field goal and just tie it up and go into overtime. Dan Campbell, being the fucking guy that he is, goes for it again. Parsons jumps off sides. So they have a free play. They don't get the touchdown, or the 2-point conversion, rather, off this free play. Third time. You have a third time to just be a normal head coach and kick the fucking field goal. What's he do? Still goes for 2, throws the ball, short of the end zone. Done. Game. Dallas wins. No 2-point conversion. No extra point. You lost by 1. Shut up. That's on your head coach. You wouldn't even. Well, the refs. I don't care. Officials suck. That's a part of football. You think every fucking fan base doesn't know officials suck? Micah Parsons has gone 50 quarters of football without drawing a fucking hold. Dude's played 10 games with no hold. Watch Micah Parsons play. He gets held every fucking play. You got to call one. Stop bitching. It's your head coach's fault. Dan Campbell has this thing where we don't punt the ball and we don't kick field goals. Okay, and you're going to lose games because of it. Shut up. He's over there at the fucking podium crying. He goes to the locker room. The dude's crying all the fucking time over everything. Shut up. You're all fucking whine asses. Your fan base is a bunch of whine asses. Your head coach is crying over something that he fucking did. It was like at a certain point, the third time, dude, if I'm the kicker, hey, take your helmet off. We're going for 2. No, you're going for 2. I'm fucking kicking this field goal. Fuck off. I'm going out there and I'm kicking it and we're going into overtime. Because, dude, 3 times and you're fucking bitching, shut up. That's on you. That's a coach's decision to do that. You deserve to lose that fucking game. And they're putting up billboards in Detroit. Shut up. You're fucking pansies. You're all pansies. It's the stupidest shit. See, these guys start talking about football and ADHD, dude. Now I got to fucking go through. Fucking stupid. Anyway, I think that's about a wrap. I know once I end this, people are going to start, the replies are going to start flowing in. So maybe I'll just follow up next week. Like I said, we're going to get back into hopefully a good rhythm here where we'll be weekly. Get back into the swing of it. See, I was going to end it. Couple trickled in. First, we'll start with this one. I won't name this person because I don't know if they want it named. They thought it was a troll when the question came out because I do that. I'll purposely ask a question, get an answer, and troll. This isn't that. I actually did want to genuinely know. So this person says for the positive in 2023, got out of a toxic relationship. That's huge. Those suck. Doesn't even have to be like a male-female. Doesn't have to be a couple's relationship. But even just like toxic friend relationships or family relationships, anything toxic. A toxic relationship with yourself. Just kidding. But just any type of toxic relationship, getting out of that's a big deal. So that is something cool and something you should feel proud about, especially if you initiated it. If you stood up for yourself and you said, fuck that, I can't deal with this anymore, and you did, good on you. If she, he, whatever, broke it off, then at least you don't have to deal with it anymore. So either way, it's a win-win for you, and that is good. And then something you look to accomplish or hope happens in 2024, they just said serenity. Good enough for me. That's all fucking anybody wants at this point. Just unbothered, peace, whatever that looks like for you. Hopefully you get it. I think you will. And hopefully you do. What else we got? This one I will name because I met this person because of this. And, I met this person because of this. And because I talk about these guys often. Loco Fingerboards. I asked that question. He says, I was able to take a trip to New York. I think that was my biggest accomplishment. He did. He drove from, I forget where he is. I want to say Indiana off the top of my head, and he came for the fingerboard to fight back with Dave Totai, and I got to meet him there and shake his hand. I want to shake your hand. I got to meet him there and shake his hand and like put a face and whatnot. Obviously, I've talked to him on here. I know what he looks like. I know what he's all about. But actually physically seeing that was pretty cool. So I think that is a big accomplishment. That's not an easy drive to make by yourself to commit to and say like, hey, I'm going to come up and do this. And he filmed a bunch of stuff, and I think he enjoyed himself. So yeah, that's a big accomplishment as well. I think that's it. I think we could actually end this. Let's see. Yeah, we got nothing. Let's just wrap it up. A couple people that I'm proud of. I'm always proud of my wife. She's a great mom, great wife. She's figuring this whole thing out with me. Lenny, I think, like I talked about it before, the Lenny Fletcher art. I think it's cool that he branched out. He's fucking somebody that we deal with the 9 to 5, and you hear us talk about it. You go back and listen to one of the earlier episodes with Lenny. We talk about like the mundane 9 to 5 and whatnot, and how like everybody has to have something creative. And obviously he's in a band, but when he's not at practice or writing, what else is there? So it was good to see him like step up and really start painting again. And now he's constantly putting new stuff up. I don't even know how the hell he does this shit so fast. Like, I don't know if he just works at it constantly and he's just like painting after painting after painting, and then he's posting it, a couple days in between, or if he's just ripping these things out. But either way, it's impressive. Who else we got? Mello. So Minutes with Mello, let's talk about that real quick. That was a segment that we had on here that it kind of went away because he hinted at like his Who You Got podcast kind of phased out. That went away for a little bit so I could let him focus on like what he wants to do next, because I've been through that with Dangerously Average Dudes to this, like I mentioned. And he's starting something back up that I'll let him put in his own words. And I'm going to have him back on here so that he can explain that, and we can look for his future project. But anybody who's like working at something, whether it's personal, business, entertainment, like creativity, whatever it is, super proud of everybody doing that. And this shit it is what it is. It's not easy. People are figuring shit out. My dad's got to figure out this shit without my mom and that whole thing that I mentioned earlier. So, you got to be proud of him for that. And, I don't know. But I think that's it. I don't think anything else is trickling in. Let me look again. All right, we're going to wrap this up. TrueInTheRag.com for all the platform links, merch, whatever. And then w.gg. Use promo code CHEWIN at checkout for 10% off your order. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you.